from TCU Place in Saskatoon, please welcome to our stage, Jason Blaine.
Telemiracle was the brainchild of a couple of gentlemen in the Saskatoon Kinsman Club. 1976, they were looking for a way to raise money for people with disabilities. At that time, telethons were fairly popular, so they got in touch with a few folks, and within a couple of years, something gelled, and all of a sudden, Telemiracle 1 was February 1977. My three favorite parts of Telemiracle are the beginning, the middle, and the end. The beginning, it's so full of anticipation. The building before the show starts, it vibrates with people being excited.
As we get closer to the show, the excitement starts to build. You can tell the intensity is going up. Stand by to the opening video. 3, 2, 1. The video's in. And for me, this never gets old. I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I still get really excited about it. Yes, from the top, everybody ready? Cue me out of the next tape that's coming up here. I'll need 30-second cue, 20-second cue, and count me down from 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beverly Mahood and Bob McGrath.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Telemiracle 39. 39. Unbelievable. Great job to Jason Blaine on our opening song. Big hand for Jason Blaine one more time.
When showtime comes, we've got all sorts of folks that make contributions. Cameramen, for example, are absolutely crucial to getting the show on the air. And those folks are all volunteers.
And what I'm very honored with, is to find out for the first time, I remember going back and seeing what I call the Telemiracle machine. That's the volunteers. Behind the phone banks, there's like literally hundreds of people back there. And then you go downstairs, hundreds of people downstairs. And you're looking at all of them organizing everything, and it's a finely tuned machine.
I am just always thinking about the people of Saskatchewan and just what they do for each other. I know this is a province, but it's a community. It's people helping people, they're friends, and there's no egos. I mean, it's just volunteers, people just giving out of the goodness out of their heart and wanting to help each other.
To hear the story of a gentleman that was in a scooter, and he had explained to me, do you know what it's like to lose your independence? And I said, no. And he said, it's not good. He said, there's times, he said, when I would have to lay in the bed and my wife would have to come and help me out of bed, get me dressed. I can't even go down the hallway to get a cup of coffee. He says, but because of this scooter, he looked at me and smiled and he says, now I can do those things.
I mean, when you look at it, everybody's a volunteer. When you go into the schools and for 5 days, their goal was to raise $1,000, but they raised $5,000? Like, are you kidding me? It's infectious. You want to be around that.
You get a guy like Bob McGrath that's come 38 years, Beverly Mahood and Brad Johnner. This will be their 18th year. So we've got some folks that are heavily committed in all sorts of ways, in front of the camera, behind the camera, and at the camera.
For those of you who've just joined us here, we'd like to welcome you to 20 marvelous, wonderful hours. 20 hours of the Telemiracle. And we call it the Telemiracle because we think a lot of miracles are going to happen in the next 20 hours. The only way they're going to happen is if you give us your love and keep those phones going. Okay? Good.
This show was on Telemiracle that night, 1977. And I'll never forget sitting back and watching it. And I can remember the people as they come out, as they introduced them. And to finish off with Blake Emmons. And I remember Blake Emmons looking at the camera and said, "We are not the stars of this show. The real star of this show is coming out right now." And they brought out the little girl in the wheelchair, and he knelt down and he talked to her and he said, "This is what we're doing, and we're doing this for you."
And ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to meet the real star of Telemiracle 77, Miss Jody Zabishko. Hi, Jody.
Hi, I'm Jody, and I'm really happy to be here because tonight the kinsmen and their friends are going to ask you to make miracles happen.
One of the magical moments for me, and still every time he comes on that stage again, is meeting Ray Nealand, because what he does and what he gives back. So his first time coming across that stage, there's that cowboy, and I think he's in love with me. I'm not sure, but I think he is, because he calls me his second wife. But hearing his stories and his aw shucksness, and just that he's a down-to-earth person and gives everything that he has back to Telemiracle, he makes me laugh. He makes me just want to hug him, but he makes me cry as well for the kindness that he has in his heart.
9:05 to 4:55 on the Sunday afternoon. There's so much happening, there's so many people, and it's just awe and inspiring to have so many people that can come out and do what they do in the greatest organized chaos I've ever seen.
First time I'll never forget, Telemiracle 33, going down and seeing literally over 1,000 people that have volunteered their time, that have drove in, that have given, they've given so much to help and to make this, and it was so successful.
The end of the show is just a culmination of all sorts of effort, excitement, enthusiasm, and frankly, relief.
Favorite part of Telemiracle for me is when we are singing "O Canada," and it's the grand finale, and the balloons are coming down, and realizing that now we can just take a deep breath, look behind, and everyone on that stage can be proud of what we just did. And we're all part of it.
Well, there's a lot of excitement around raising money and giving and what the total is at the end of the show. But the real impact is what happens with that money after the show. So we have hundreds of people that apply every year for things like medical travel, making sure you got enough gas money to get to Edmonton for your baby's heart surgery, a scooter so that you can get around if you've got some mobility issues, tubs in seniors' homes so people can have a little bit of personal care. So that's the real impact of Telemiracle, is the gifts that are given because of the gifts that are given.
The minute I saw that first kid wheel their wheelbarrow across that stage with the pennies, and they were given, they didn't want birthday presents, they just wanted to give all the money back to Telemiracle because they wanted to help another kid, that was it for me. At 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when you're delirious, it's like, I gotta help these people. And it just becomes a part of you. I mean, if I wasn't here, I don't know where else I'd be. I'd feel like there was something missing.
From the bottom of my heart, I'm very proud to be from Saskatchewan. I was born and raised here, and I thank all of you in Saskatchewan for keep doing what you're doing. Much love to all of you.